I'm Eric Legee. I'm the director of the Rao Jewish Archives here at the Heinz History Center. I'm joined today by Dan Legger and Officer Tim Matson, and we're here today to tell the story of a gift that has passed from hand to hand and now sits on the table here in front of me. Dan Legger and Tim Matson became friends through the most awful and unusual of circumstances. Dan is a nurse and a hospital chaplain, and he has been a member of Congregation Dor Hadash for decades. Dor Hadash is one of the 3 congregations that were worshiping inside the Tree of Life synagogue on the morning of October 27, 2018, when a lone gunman entered during Shabbat services, killing 11 people and ultimately wounding 600 others. Officer Matson was part of the SWAT team that responded to the call, preventing further loss of life. Dan and Tim were both seriously injured during the attack that morning, and in the weeks that followed, they both received treatment in the same hospital. Upon learning that one of his protectors was recovering in a room nearby, Dan set a goal for himself. He wanted to gain enough strength to visit Tim. In Judaism, visiting the sick is known as Bikur Cholim, and the Talmud places Bikur Cholim among a special category of good deeds, those for which a person enjoys benefits now, while the main reward is preserved in the world to come. What does that mean? It means that some things you do because they make you feel good, and some things you do because they are the right thing to do. Visiting the sick is both. You get an immediate benefit from making such a visit, and you also get a deeper reward as time goes by. The immediate benefits of that visit were profound. Through their brief encounter at the hospital, Dan and Tim both found the inspiration and the courage they needed to continue to heal and to rebuild their lives. And with that encounter, a friendship began between 2 men who might not have otherwise had the opportunity to meet each other. Today, we're here to discuss the deeper benefits. Each year, during the H. John Heinz Police Award Ceremony, the city gives the Act of Valor Award to law enforcement officers from our region who show remarkable bravery and courage in the line of work. In 2019, the city gave the Act of Valor Award to each of the 4 Pittsburgh police officers who were injured when they responded to the attack that day: Anthony Burke, Michael Smidga, Daniel Mead, and Tim Matson. Upon reflection, Officer Matson decided to give his award to Dan. It was a gesture of gratitude. He wanted to thank Dan for visiting him in the hospital that day and for giving him an additional motivation to endure the difficult work of recovery and to continue his work in law enforcement. And Dan, in turn, asked Tim for permission to donate the award to the Rao Jewish Archives. This was also a gesture of gratitude. Dan wanted to thank Tim and his fellow officers for coming to the defense of those in the synagogue that day, and also for giving him motivation, the motivation to stand, to walk, and to pay a visit to the sick. Dan felt that the award should be in a place where people could see it and learn from it for many years to come. And with that, I'd like to welcome Dan Legger to share his thoughts.
Thank you, Eric. Tim? You know, we tend to concentrate on the big stories that make the news. There are some things that happen that are just hard to believe. What happened on October 27th is still hard to believe. And there are days when I would really like to forget it. But what I really want to remember is that you came. You and your officers, your friends, your colleagues, you came. You didn't run in the other direction. You came. You wanted to save our lives. You wanted to help us. And you came. And you didn't shy away from what you needed to do once you got there. Now, I was grateful is an understatement for what you have done for this community and for me. And I was really motivated when I learned that you were at the other end of the hall in the hospital unit where we both were. That was my motivation to get up and start to walk again. It was painful. You know what it's like to relearn to walk again. But when I got up out of that wheelchair and used my walker to walk over to your bed and see your face and hear your voice, that was a special, special gift for me, and it helped to continue my motivation, and I am so honored that in some ways it helped to continue your motivation to be well as well. This is not the big story. This is, in the news terms, this is the smaller story, but this is the most beautiful story to me, because the story that keeps going after something awful happens can go in one of two directions. And too often we hear about it going in bad directions. But what happened between us is something that will continue to grow. We have a friendship, we have a special bond, and I'll never forget that. I will never stop continuing to be grateful for what you did for me and my friends and my community. And there just aren't adequate words to be able to express it. The medal that you sent to me and the letter that you sent to me, I treasure that letter. It will always be put in a very, very prominent and special place in my home. The medal belonged to you. It was awarded to you for your valor. It says Valor. And the fact that you wanted to give it to me because you felt that I had some evidence of valor as a result of that event just moves me so deeply and makes me so much more grateful. So I felt that, you really wanted me to have this, and you've said it over and over again, it's yours. And I appreciate that so much. But this is a story that needs not to stay in my house. This is a story that other people need to hear. This is a story that needs to motivate other people to do similar things like you motivated me and like you tell me that I motivated you. So, valor, there's a passage in the book of Proverbs that says, "Who is a person of valor? They are valued beyond rubies and diamonds. Their price cannot be paid." And that's the truth. That's what valor is, and that's what you live. You certainly lived it that day, and you deserved that recognition, which is only a drop in the bucket for the gratitude that I and others express for you. So I'm grateful to God that we're both still alive. I remember our friends every day who we lost that day, especially my dear friend Jerry Rabinowitz, who was next to me. And our story will continue to go on, and our story will continue to be able to give others motivation to be able to tell their story in a way that helps to bring this world to a better place. So thank you, Tim. I love you.
Thank you, Dan. Human beings only live so long, and the idea behind museums and archives is that we can sidestep that limitation just a little bit because we give our stories to our things, and we hope that those things tell our stories long after we're not around to tell them for ourselves. There's going to come a day when there's no one left who remembers this event, no one who remembers how it felt to wait to hear whether the two of you would be okay, and no one who remembers the promises that we all made to ourselves to use this moment as an inspiration to treat each other better and to protect one another. And when that day comes, artifacts such as this award will be what remains to remind people what it's been like to live here during this time. Dan and Tim, the Rao Jewish Archives and the Heinz History Center are incredibly grateful for your generosity, not only the generosity that it takes to share this award with us, but also the generosity that it takes to share the stories that are contained within this object. It's very hard to share a personal story with the whole world. It takes courage and conviction, and it takes the belief that the story has some larger significance. And we're very thankful and humbled that the two of you have trusted us with caring for this special story. Thank you both very much.